Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about Disney Plus being dead. Whoa, they went broke. No, actually, we are going to talk about Disney Plus not having the money to produce a lot of these really expensive shows anymore. And I think anyone who's been paying attention would realize this, right? They spend a lot of money on Marvel and Star Wars shows, and they're not producing the results that they used to. They're not bringing in, I don't know if they're bringing in the revenue the way that they were hoping. It's not looking too good. I think this is part of the reason why we're seeing The Mandalorian come out as a movie. Season 4 basically coming out as a movie because it worked for Disney in the past. Lilo and Stitch they brought out as a movie. That was actually supposed to be for Disney Plus, and it shows, in some ways, but it made them a bunch of money. Same with Moana 2. It made them a bunch of money. So I don't think we're going to see as much Marvel and Star Wars on the platform because they're going to probably just try to make it theatrical. That's how they're going to get their money back. I mean, as long as it's good, so there's going to be a lot less of it. And hopefully it's going to be better quality, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. It's coming from Cosmic Book News. They got it from IndieWire. That Tony Gilroy, who is the showrunner writer, I guess for Andor, is saying that Disney's like, we're broke. We can't make a bunch of these ridiculously expensive shows anymore. And you think they're going to pick up more Doctor Who? They don't even own it. Why would that Doctor Who was very expensive? They're not gonna pay for more of that. Tony Gilroy drops a bomb while reflecting on his time working with Disney on Andor, according again to Cosmic Book News. The creator reveals the Star Wars series cost $650 million for 2 seasons, yet by season 2, Disney told him streaming is dead and there's no more money. There's no more money for this stuff. Despite the massive budget, Gilroy says the shows were made without interference, but the reality behind the scenes shows how broke Disney Plus really is, which we also know includes Marvel. Again, this is why I believe they are pushing more and more stuff to movie theaters because they got to make some money back on it. And they've had, everybody's like, oh, it's okay, guys. Disney's got infinite money. Nobody has infinite money. The new reality is that they're going to be a lot more selective. And this is across the board. It's not just Disney. It's going to be all these streaming services. They're going to be a lot more selective about what they make, what they greenlight, and how much they spend on it. I mean, Netflix, too, they've had problems with, like Cowboy Bebop. And, they spent a ton of money on that show. It didn't perform. And they canceled it within like a week or two, I think, of it. Because they're like, these aren't the numbers we're hoping for. I think it's going to become more and more common that there are going to be co-productions. I think there are going to be some co-productions. It might not just be straight up Disney. I think Disney is going to look probably outside of themselves to just bring some other stuff on, like Cartoon Network. They're doing the new season of Gumball on Hulu, and they're probably not paying for all that. They're helping, but they're not paying for all of it. And that's something that's probably going to guarantee some watch time. But Gilroy didn't hold back. Okay, he talked to IndieWire. While speaking about the making of Andor, he exposed just how much Disney spent and how quickly things changed behind the scenes. For Disney, this is $650 million, he said. For 24 episodes, I never took a note. We said, fuck the Empire in the first season, and they said, can you please not do that? In season 2, they said, streaming is dead. We don't have the money we had before, so we fought hard about the money, but they never cleaned anything up. That freedom comes with responsibilities. Now, I don't know. Andor has been critically well received by a lot of people. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know what the watch time is like on this one, but I think it's one of those things where Disney had stuff in the pipeline, and we're seeing it kind of get flushed through the system now. But I don't think they're ever going to do this again. Especially after the Acolyte, right? They were already working on season 2 of Andor. They just kind of let it be. But we're never going to see them spend as much money, I don't think, on a show again. If they're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on something, it's going to be theatrical, and they're going to hope for like $1 billion from it, right? So he goes on to talk about the $4 billion streaming loss for Disney. Gilroy's comments line up with recent reports about Disney slashing budgets across the board. Again, not just Disney, but everybody. Every streamer got hosed, except for Netflix. Netflix, even then they're being a lot more picky about what they produce. But Apple Apple's got some of the best stuff on streaming currently. I mean, they've got some really amazing stuff on Apple TV. I wasn't really paying attention, but that Tetris movie is really good. Severance is good. I like Severance quite a bit. But they're losing like a ton of money, but they don't care. Apple's got like billions and billions of dollars in the couch cushions. It's probably like one of the healthiest companies on the planet. Like it's nothing to them. Like, yeah, throw a couple $billion at streaming, whatever. There's always more money. So Bob Iger said they've lost $4 billion on streaming. He also said Disney would be pulling back on both Star Wars and Marvel. Yeah, I remember they were bragging about how they were going to spend as much on these streaming shows as they did on theatrical movies. And, it was like a double-edged sword, right? Because, yeah, it did get people Disney Plus for a while until they realized that there's like too much of a good thing, or in this case, too much of what used to be a good thing now being watered down with a bunch of really shitty TV shows. And also it was eating into their profits at the box office because, we have Marvel at home. We have Star Wars at home. I'm kind of seeing that right now with Cobra Kai. I might talk about that later in a video. That the Karate Kid movie did not do well over the weekend. And I guess I actually expected it to do a lot better. I didn't go see it yet, but I expected it to do a lot better because it was coming off of Cobra Kai. And Cobra Kai was a huge hit on Netflix, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a huge hit in movie theaters. And again, people are going to be like, yeah, we have Karate Kid at home. We don't need to go to the theater to go see more Karate Kid, right? Anyway, what's happened with Star Wars on Disney Plus? It fell off a freaking cliff. The nail in the coffin for Star Wars on Disney Plus was The Acolyte reportedly cost north of $200 million, which didn't support the low number of fans that tuned in. The Acolyte was quickly canceled. However, its effects were felt by Skeleton Crew, which didn't make the Nielsen charts. And Skeleton Crew was actually pretty okay. From what I saw of it, it was all right. Again, they kind of do these out of order. I think if Andor was first and Skeleton Crew was first before shows like The Acolyte, before Obi-Wan, or Kenobi, what do they call it? Obi-Wan's Kenobi. I don't know. But like, Boba Fett definitely damaged Star Wars on Disney Plus because they nerfed that character. I didn't like the Obi-Wan show that much because personally, I do not feel Obi-Wan and Vader should have had multiple fights before the big duel in episode 4. And I did not like that they shifted to little Leia instead of Luke. I thought that didn't really mesh up with canon. And it looked like a Star Trek show. It looked like a Star Trek show on TV. It didn't look like a multi-million, it didn't look Star Wars to me. It looked off. It looked cheap. Boba Fett looked cheap because they had unfinished sets and everything. It was crazy. The Acolyte was canceled. Skeleton Crew didn't even make the Nielsen's. As a result of the failure of the Acolyte, report surfaced that Disney would only be releasing one Star Wars show per year. Ahsoka season 2 is currently in the works. Again, this is something that was greenlit before. Oh God, I forgot about this. So what happened with Marvel? Same story for Marvel. Kevin Feige's post-Endgame agenda has been a complete failure. Yeah. Following wasting billions of dollars on shows nobody watched, like the Marvel She-Hulk and Secret Invasion, fans turned out and didn't tune in for Daredevil Born Again, which is the first MCU show on Disney Plus to not make the Nielsen charts. Is that true? Born Again? Yeah. A lot of people talked about it, but look, I'll tell you the truth. And my son was watching it with his friend, and they just binged all of Netflix Daredevil to get ready for Born Again. And so it was fresh in their minds. And they're like, wow, this was a huge downgrade from, I mean, it could have been worse. They reshot a lot of it, but it was definitely a downgrade when it went to Disney. And plus is like R-rated, right? So I think that probably did not help their case any. Ironheart and Wonder Man, neither one of those shows are going to do well. Sorry. 2 more shows that look to be big busts. Born Again was said to be retooled. They didn't go far enough. Season 2 is looking like more of the same. I think Ahsoka is not going to do well either. They have a lot of shows that failed. And again, it's not really even the quality of the show. It's just people are over it. Echo, nobody remembers Echo. Agatha it was made for chicks. It was like a 90s witch show made for chicks, whatever. And Daredevil, Gilroy had a lot of pull thanks to who he is and the fact that he saved Rogue One. How the cuts impact Ahsoka season 2 remain to be seen. if it's anything like how they affected Marvel, Ahsoka could be in trouble. It's already been rumored that season 2 will be the last. It's going to get canceled. I don't know. Do these shows actually get canceled? I mean, it's the only thing I'm going to kind of disagree on here. Do they actually get canceled, or they just decide they're not going to make more of them because it costs too damn much? It feels like a lot of these, especially the Kenobi show, was a movie and they just like stretched it out into a TV show. And honestly, if they'd done a theatrical Obi-Wan Kenobi movie and reworked it a little bit, it might have gone better for them. Actually, a lot of these, they probably could have been reworked and it would have gone better for them than turning it into a TV show. You've actually cheapened Star Wars. You've cheapened Marvel by giving it to people on TV, right? Because it was like Marvel got out of that for the longest time. It was like, oh yeah, it's Marvel. It's like, Generation X or whatever on Fox. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's not great. It's a made for TV thing, whatever. And I never in a million years thought that we would get to a place where Star Wars is predominantly a made for TV thing. I mean, it was kind of weird they did the Ewok movies on TV, but they were kind of an anomaly and not really tied into the main Star Wars canon. But yeah, it's a downgrade. It was a downgrade to go to TV, and there's too much of it, and you spent way too much money on it. And did it do any good? I mean, that's, what I'm saying? Like, did it really affect their numbers to the positive? Or were people going to subscribe to Disney Plus anyway because, it's Disney Plus? I don't know. But there we go, guys. They're running out of money. Of course they are. Everybody is. Everybody's got to be a lot more cautious in how they spend their money these days, and they got to make sure they get a return on their investment. That's the name of the game going forward. So you're not going to see them take a lot of chances either. I mean, that's the truth. I don't know, guys. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.